What's up, everybody? It's your man, White Wolf, and welcome back to another exciting training session. Today, we're focused all about the mind and mental development. We're going to be discussing the Four Noble Truths. And before we get started, I just want to make it clear that I am not Buddhist. I do not follow any one religion. I do not follow any one teaching. I am an adventurer, a man who loves all wisdom from all across history. The Ascended Masters came here to give us knowledge in order to help humanity level ourselves up to the next stage of development. The only thing I will classify myself as is a light worker, because it's time that we make heaven on earth and create the most beautiful things with God. And so, before we get started, here's just a quick little disclaimer. We're not going to be doing any video recordings of our mental or emotional training at the moment. And that's only because our video capabilities are fairly minimum at this time. Like, I got an awesome little free phone boy, and I can record up to 5 minutes if I want to be able to do any type of editing. And then when I transfer it over to my computer to start doing the editing and putting everything into place, it crashes my computer at least a lot. But it's okay, because my little Chromebook here is a fighter. And thank you, Chromebook, for working with me. So we're just gonna keep everything really still pictures, and we'll start having more informational pictures in here as we start leveling up and doing a little bit more. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and actually get started. Some information to really keep in the noggin is, or I guess a saying that would help out. Words of wisdom are heard by ears of understanding. The thing about wisdom and knowledge, if we're only at a certain place, we can only take in what we're ready for. And there's so many different spiritual texts or people talking, people giving out different types of information that sometimes get deep. It gets it gets deep, and it's really like mind blowing. But depending on where we're at, we won't be able to comprehend half of it, or a piece of it, or any of it. And so it's really finding where you're currently at, like in the path that you're choosing, what direction you want to go to learn whatever it is you want to learn. And so, even as you level up, you can listen to the same text 2, 3 times and realize more and more each time. And it's just like, whoa, I'll remember this from last time. And it's like your understanding has grown. And so, let's go ahead and get started. So, if you haven't heard, I've kind of gone over some of these in my shorts a little bit. Like the first noble truth. The first noble truth: life has pain and suffering. Pain being that which teaches us a lesson. Suffering being the unnecessary pain we cause ourselves from not learning the lesson the first time, or the second time, or the third time, and then it's turned into a tornado of suffering. You know, there's certain realities about this plane. Yes, there's pain. We all experience pain, and we all go through pain. But a lot of times it first originates in a very minimum small form. So small and minimum that we don't even recognize it the first time. When we feel that discomfort in our emotions, that inner knowing trying to let us know that something isn't right. That, hey, this discomfort is letting us know that something isn't right. Same thing when we're out and about. Say we trip on a sidewalk. Maybe we need to start looking at and paying attention to how we're walking, or what are we walking towards, or what is our attention on. It's not really always straightforward. Sometimes there's so many multi-factored variables that take place that it might not just be one lesson, but several lessons. The second noble truth: the seeds of suffering comes from the seeds of ignorance, greed, and hatred. Ignorance being a lack of knowledge, greed being intense and selfish desire, hatred being intense ill will. When we talk about ignorance, boy, that saying ignorance is bliss, that is a lie. Ignorance is going to cause suffering in a way that we don't even understand what's happening. A good example of ignorance I heard was like, ignorance is like when you go and you cross the street without looking both ways and you get hit by the car. Whose fault is that? Your fault or the car's fault? Yes, the car could have slowed down and you could try to work out any different types of ways, but the car is not the one who got hit by a car and got seriously injured. You know what I'm saying? This is when we start going to accountability and we start looking more at those little multi-factor variables and other aspects of ourselves that we can start realizing, hey, there's other parts of me too that I need to work on. Accountability is a big one for a lot of us. The reality is, we are all in the place that we are at because of the choices that we have made. Even when we're born into families that might have a lot of abuse or a lot of suffering, before we even came into this lifetime, we've made decisions. We've had karma built up from previous lifetimes. We've chosen the families and the soul groups who we're going to have around us to teach us lessons. And sometimes it might have been the same people for many lifetimes. This stuff gets so deep when we start really learning more about it. But the accountability is going to be the number one thing. Taking accountability of where we're at. Because like the great Jim Rohn said, the number one determining factor of your success or failure is you. Now, when we're talking about greed, boy. Greed is like that little green devil. The envy, the jealousy, it grows into these plants that will have you do the most ridiculous thing. The story of Joseph with his brothers from the Bible does a really good way of explaining greed. What happens when it grows into jealousy? What happens when you're so full of jealous and envy that you take care of your own brother in a certain type of manner? And so I think that's a really good story for people to just learn about, especially if you're feeling a type of way about family members or friends or other individuals. The number one thing about this life is that it's not a competition. It's not you versus me. It's me versus myself. It's you versus yourself. It's every day waking up and getting better, pushing further, learning more about who we are. Hatred. That story of Joseph really covers hatred a lot too. When you get so mad, you become so enraged. Many people have fallen, many great people have fallen because of their hatred that they let foster inside them. That story about the boy who every time he got angry, his father told him to put a nail into the fence. And when he started learning forgiveness, and he started learning compassion, and he started learning how to calm himself down, he was able to take each nail out of the fence. But the thing is, the fence was never the same. The same thing with our relationships. When we're angry, we start going to hatred. We land at foster. You cannot take back what you have done. Those are things we have to live with for the rest of our lives. And so we have to be careful. Because these plants, even though these seeds, they start off small in small forms. But as they grow and develop, they transmute and transform into a whole different type of energy, into a whole different types of byproducts, and whole different types of emotions. The third noble truth: there is a way to stop suffering. The fourth noble truth: the way to stop suffering is the Eightfold Path. And I think this teaching is very helpful in just understanding the terms of the things that cause us so much discomfort. It's not about being perfect. None of us is perfect. Nobody will ever be perfect. But always striving for that balance, for that harmony inside of ourselves. Because this is a plane of duality. There are equal and opposing forces for everything, which we'll talk more about in our Hermetic lesson. The Eightfold Path. So, even when I go through these, keep in mind that there are different teachings of this, of the Eightfold Path, different ways to explain the same things. Cultures have their varieties, and that's okay. It's really about finding the one that you're able to grow your understanding in. So, when we're talking about the Eightfold Path, we have right view or right understanding. 2, right intention or right thought or right resolve. 3, right speech. 4, right action or right conduct. 5, right livelihood. 6, right effort. 7, right mindfulness. 8, right meditation or right concentration or right samadhi. All right. So I gave them with a couple of the other variations that are pretty common. So when we're talking about right view and right understanding, I believe this relates heavily to the third eye chakra. That being blocked by illusions. As we start to understand and work with our inner voice, our inner calling, start to recognize God is with us always, that God is inside of us, leading us through our moral compass, through our missions, through our passions. As we start walking more and more in faith of who we are, you're able to start recognizing what is real, what is fake, what is truth, what is lies, what is meant to take you off your course, off your path of reaching your highest potential. Having the understanding, I think more than anything else, is just the understanding in that you already have the knowledge inside of you, pointing you, leading you, directing you on where to go. And as you listen to it and follow it, everything becomes clear. The light begins to shine. And your strength, your will, your heart, your words, your thoughts all start to align. And you move towards your mission, your purpose here, with vigor, with happiness, with joy, with love. And you're damn glad about it. Now, talking about the second of the Eightfold Path, we have to remember the road to hell is paved with good intentions. We can wish all we want, but if we don't take the proper steps, if we don't take the proper actions, if we don't take and learn the proper material, if we don't do our best to back up those intentions, it is meaningless. It becomes the wrong intention. I'm gonna be honest, when we see some of these people who are protesting in the streets, or when we have these big giant mobs of people form together and they start causing chaos and destruction, they might have intended for it to be a good cause, but what actually manifested is chaos and violence. It's not solving the main issue, the real problem. It's being surface level. And a lot of time people just do it to feed their ego. Don't get me wrong. It's important to do your best with the information that you have. But the thing is, when you have the right intention, the information that you will need will come to you. The opportunities that you need will come to you. Everything you need to accomplish that goal will come to you. And I think that's why right resolve is right next to it. If you don't have the spirit, the fire, the heart to be able to go all in for what you're trying to manifest, trying to bring in, trying to create, then it becomes meaningless. Then you didn't really want it in the first place. We will all be challenged on our path of greatness. We will all have trials and tribulations on this road of being a human being. And it takes trusting, having that right understanding, having the right intention to be able to walk the path that you're destined for. Moving on to the third Eightfold Path, right speech. Very similar to the throat chakra that is being blocked by lies. Our voice is so powerful. It enhances everything. It's an amplifier. When we go down the manifestation process and we start speaking words into reality, into existence, we're taking that one step closer into what. And I'm a pretty hardcore believer that each and every one of us is a co-creator with God and is learning what we are meant here to create. What beautiful, magical thing that we're here to aid our brothers and sisters, that we're here to aid the next 7+ generations and to bring it forth. And on that process of creation, we speak things into life. We use our voice to amplify it into existence. And so, right speech. Number 4, right action or right conduct. Actions speak louder than words. When we're really trusting ourselves and we're really going after the things that we want, the universe takes our actions as the verification that we're heading in a direction, that we've picked where we're going. The same thing when we're on this manifestation process. If we don't take the actions required, then it will never come into fruition. How we conduct ourselves on a daily basis means something. Everything means something. Everything's energy. Everything that we do, every reaction or every action has a reaction, cause and effect. Without action, it is meaningless. We cannot skip steps in manifesting. Manifesting, we cannot skip steps. And so, we must trust ourselves. Trust the compass. Trust when we're being led. And take the right action. Because you notice how all these have the word right. There's also a wrong. And so it's learning what it is. Meaningful action towards our goals, towards our dreams. Number 5, right livelihood. In my opinion, this is about service. We are all providing a service to each other in one way or another. It's not about a job or the work for money type of mindset. It goes so much deeper. There are many things that we need in this life that don't cost money, but we need people to be able to lead the way on them. Money is more of that byproduct of when we start getting good at what we're doing. It should not be the first thing. It should be the results from the hard labor, the hard work we put in and day out to provide a service to each other, to the world, to the planet. What we do matters. There's no separating your job from your character. You can't say, I work here, and not think that that's a representation of who you are. And I'm talking about a lot of some of these darker industries. I think that's one of the whole points of why these darker industries even exist, why they're so lucrative. Look at the porn industry. You can't expect to do porn and think that that's not a reflection of your character, that that's not going to affect you on your journey. You can't be a thief and steal from people and think that that's not a reflection of who you are. even if you're just doing it to feed your family. There are many different ways to feed our families. And it's not getting caught up into certain ideology. Heck, even being a gamer. Look, I get it, games are fun. But what are we helping each other with? What are we providing each other by spending all day, every day playing video games to be the very best? I get it, it's impressive and it's fun. But is that really aiding us? Is that aiding humanity towards a goal of creating something beautiful for everybody? Should that be your whole life? Should that be your primary concern? All right. Number 6, right effort. We gotta get clear on what it is we are trying to bring into this world. Your purpose, what you're trying to manifest. Look at our workforce once again. We've had people work 5, 10 years in something that they did not like, that they did not care about, when they had passions, real deep passion of a future that they wanted. And to not take the steps to build that, to put your effort into somebody else's company that is just going to drop you in a heartbeat without even so much as a thank you for your years of service. Look at our college systems. The intellect is an amazing thing. But if you fill it with useless knowledge, if you fill it with arrogance, thinking that it makes you better than other people, that's effort that has been wasted, because now you're stuck in your own ego. Your cup is so filled with stuff that you can't put anything else in there. Things that could help get you on a different path. Things that could help you be more useful to the world. Things that would make you more happy with yourself. A lot of times, we strive and strive and strive for things. And it might not just be working out. Now, this is why it's very important to understand our purpose, our livelihood, our service, the other aspects, having the right understanding. Because either way, you gotta be tested. When you want to bring something into this world, you gotta push. You gotta work and work and work. And it can be fun. It's gonna be extremely enjoyable. But you're gonna go through some ups and downs. You're going to go through trials and tribulations. But at the same time, if you're going in the wrong direction and you're putting effort in continuously and working, the universe is going to be blocking you off, trying to get you to go a different way. And so this one is tricky. It's really about having that clear direction when you're putting your effort into things. Because either way, you will be tested. Whether trying to deter you or trying to see if you're really about it, if you're really about what you say and believe. Right mindfulness, number 7. Everything's energy. Our thoughts, the images we create in our mind. All this different thing. Our mind is the greatest tool, one of the greatest tools. We got a couple great, amazing tools: our body, our mind, our emotions, and life force. But the mind is one of these amazing tools. and our mind creates our reality. Learning how our mind works is essential. Imagining the future we want to create, living in it, in our mind, creating it, being there, seeing it, and having the feeling starting to back it up. That's how we start to bring those types of realities to us. Healing, how we start stacking different thought patterns, literally transmutes energy in such a way that starts to twist our understanding of the world. We start to heal ourselves. The same thing when we have negative thoughts, negative emotions, we start making ourselves sick. When we're thinking ill will towards people, when we're sending them bad energy, that is literally making us sick and having real effects on our body. But when we're passing each other by and we're sending each other love, because this universe is mental, we're feeling that. We're feeling that energy, which is producing a vibration, which is producing a frequency, which is carrying information. We're feeling that pass through each other. There is so much information going on all around us all the time. And as we become more sensitive, we start to recognize what is being sent our way. Our mind is so powerful. The mind creates our reality. It heals us. It takes us to distant and wonderful lands. Blah, blah, blah. There's so much it does. And when we start talking about like imagery training and a whole bunch of different aspects of the mind, dudes, it is fun. It is amazing. And that's the only thing I can say. But learning how to manage our mind is important. So, on this topic of mindfulness, don't send people ill will or negative energy or just bad intentions, because it's going to make you sick. And the people are going to feel that. And why do we want each other to feel bad? Because hurt people hurt people. Let's flip it around. Let's take that medallion, turn it into that PMA, that positive mental attitude, and let's send each other frequencies of love. All right, the last of the Eightfold Path. Right meditation, or right concentration, or right samadhi. All right, so if you haven't heard it yet, my definition of meditation is the process of harmonizing our energy in order to enter different states of being. When we start to really merge everything together in different ways, it creates something so new and powerful. Your mind is already powerful. Now, align that with our emotions, align that with our body, align that with our life force, our life energies. We haven't even scratched the surface of what we're capable of. Meditation is a great and powerful tool. And here in the West specifically, I think we just really need to start understanding meditation on a whole new level. A lot of these really deep and beautiful concepts that are meant to help us level ourselves up as a human being are missed because it's like we package them into this box, into a one size fits all type of here is a quick fix solution to X problem. There's no quick solution. There's no quick fix. Meditation, to really get the benefits and the experiences, takes dedication. It takes day in and day out training. It takes changing your lifestyle. It's understanding the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. But on that journey, the clarity that you start to develop is really the reward. The journey itself is the reward. And so, the journey of meditation is something that has to be experienced and really brought in a different type of light. And more into our cultures, this is something our kids need to start doing when they're young. Because by the time, if we just had kids start meditating when they're young, by the time that they would reach middle school, it would blow our minds, literally, what they would experience and be telling us and be saying. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. The meditation part is just something you have to experience yourself. Because you can hear people talk about it all you want. You hear people who've had these great, amazing experiences. The Buddha reaching enlightenment. So much more. Other people literally talking about all the amazing things that have happened. So that's the last one. Number 8 of the Eightfold Path. I hope you notice that I use the words manifesting a lot. To me, we are all co-creators with God. We are all here to bring something to life. To avoid that is to bring suffering. I feel it's all interconnected. Us realizing more about ourselves. Us realizing more about this universe and what we're actually here to do. And so, talking about this, obviously, I don't think that my interpretation is the only interpretation. I really just hope to help explain how I think of this stuff, how I process it myself. Because I know hearing it from other cultures, there's so much. I mean, especially going into it deeper, into different backgrounds and different cultures. Me, I have a Western perspective of things. And so I hope to reach my Western brothers and sisters on the profoundness that is in these teachings from all over the world, from everybody. Because it really just chews me up inside when people act like the grace, the divinity that is all around the world is meaningless because we're stuck in one direction, in one book, in one teaching. It's everybody. It's the beautifulness of all of it. And that's not even scratching the surface of what divinity could do for us. That is all around us. That is life. This concludes our mental training for today. I hope that people were able to get something out of this. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. And go ahead and head over to the Stand store, type in White Wolf 719, where you can download our free leveling guide PDF. This leveling guide is going to help you get from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. By level 3, you would have found your purpose. You would have created a connection with God, with the universe, your own personal connection, a connection you don't have to explain to anybody else. You are set up to go and walk your path in this life, wherever that may lead you. And I hope that it is as amazing as mine. Also, go hit the subscribe button, check out the Warriors of Light podcast. And that's just old White Wolf's personal journey, getting from beginning to this point as we prepare to launch into the soul society moving forward. Everybody, have a beautiful day. Have a blessed day. Remember that God is always with us, that God loves each and every one of us, that God has your back, that God is leading you to your destiny. And it takes listening, it takes going inwardly, quieting the mind, trusting yourself. Trust yourself. Believe in yourself. And until the next training episode, everybody, take it easy.